The mixed reality guitar system was created in order for students to learn and play guitar easier. The motivation behind this project comes from the difficulties of reading both sheet music and guitar tabs from a student's perspective, as well as shortcomings in prior research projects in this area. Existing works have systems that were limited to simple scales and lacked note recognition and onset recognition. Now for our solution, there is both a software and hardware portion to this project. For the software side, we created a system that can recognize onsets and notes for different modes on our software. There is a tab mode for importing tabs and projecting them onto the fretboard. There is also a mode for simple scales, and with these we can also grade the performance. We will go more in depth on this in a bit. On the hardware side, we designed a PCB with Autodesk Eagle with the electrical schematic, a board layout, and a drilling layout. Our next challenge was controlling the about 90 LEDs that were needed to represent each note. We used an Arduino board for the control and shift registers for control over the interface. We covered the PCB and the LEDs with a custom 3D printed fretboard and mounted it all together. Now Andrew will talk more about the software layer of our project, and then we'll go into demos for our tab mode and a live demo of a simple scale being played on our system.
The guitar automatically recognizes what notes you're playing and when you're playing them. So all you have to do is strum and the guitar will automatically move on to the next note. Most of the audio interfacing is done in Python, using a library called Audio to help us quickly and easily grade your performances. We've chosen to use the HFC and yin algorithms to help us detect onsets as well as grade your pitch. Polyphonic note recognition is a difficult problem in computer science. It could make a research project on its own, but instead we decided to focus on the core features of this project. A large portion of our development time was actually dedicated toward implementing note recognition and our onset detection. We ran into many difficulties in getting this to work, but I think we're mostly satisfied with where it's at right now.
You go online and you find an ASCII version of a tabbed guitar song. Right now we focus specifically on individual notes. Once you've found the riff or song you want to play, copy it and paste it into a text file. Once we have the guitar tab, we run it through our own Python parser that we created. This parser reads through the ASCII and creates a binary numeral based on the string that the note is played on and the fret, the first 5 bits being the fret and the last 3 being the string. Finally, this binary is sent via serial to the Arduino. The Arduino has all of these individual binaries strings mapped to a specific light, which in turn lights up the guitar.
Alright, for this demonstration, I've got the Arduino hooked up to the computer for LED control, and I've got my guitar hooked up to the amp, and the amp hooked up to the computer for note recognition and onset detection. We'll start with a simple blues scale. Alright, you may have noticed I had to replay one of those notes. That's because I didn't play it clearly enough for the software to recognize it as correct, so it waited for me to play the correct note before advancing to